took the whole Cherokee Nation, put us on this reservation, took away our ways of life, the tomahawk and the bowie knife, took away our native tongue, and taught their English to our young. And all the beads we made by hand are nowadays made in Japan. Cherokee people, Cherokee tribe, so proud to live, so proud to die. They took the whole Indian nation, locked us on this reservation. Though I wear a shirt and tie, I'm still part red man deep inside. Cherokee people, Cherokee tribe, so proud to live, so proud to die.
Okay, I cut that one off. Shoot.
Proud to die. But maybe someday when they've learned, Cherokee Nation will return, will return, will return, will return, will return.
Electric organ. All revering the Raiders, Cherokee people. I was trying to think of that song's title. I just did a search, trying to think of that, earlier. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
But when you wake up in the morning, the world still gets you uptight. Well, there's nothing better you ain't tried to fill the emptiness inside. But when you come back down, girl, still ain't feeling right. And don't it seem like it's just keep getting harder to find? And all your kids say, bring in your peace of mind before you find out it's too late, girl. You better get straight. No, it's not with kicks. You just need help now. Well, you think you're gonna find yourself a little piece of paradise. But it ain't happened yet, so girl.
Keep putting off, don't I? Oh, well.
Oh, I could hide neath the wing of the bluebird as she sings. The 6 o'clock alarm would never ring, but it rings and I rise, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. with shaven razors cold, and it sings. Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? You once thought of me as a white knight on his steed. Now you know how happy I can be. Oh, and our good time starts and ends without our loved one to spend. But how much, baby, do we really need? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen?
What if I told you?
Sugar, oh honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Honey, oh sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. I just can't believe the loveliness of loving you. I just can't believe it's true. I just can't believe the wonder of this feeling too. I just can't believe it's true. Ah, sugar, oh honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Oh, honey, oh, sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. When I kissed you, girl, I knew how sweet a kiss could be. I know how sweet a kiss can be. Like the summer sunshine, pour your sweetness over me. Pour your sweetness over me. Oh, sugar, sugar on it, honey. Pour little sugar on it, baby.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pour little sugar on it. Oh, yeah. Pour little sugar on it, honey. Pour little sugar on it, baby. Sugar, honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Oh, honey, sugar, sugar, honey, sugar, you are my candy girl.
There's one simple
Hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Snoopy lives in a very bad part of town. And everybody, yeah, tries to put my Snoopy down. Snoopy, I don't care what your daddy do. 'Cause you know, Snoopy girl, I'm in love with you. And so I say now, hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Snoopy wears a red dress, yeah, as old as the hill. But when Snoopy wears that red dress, yeah, you know it gives me the chills. Oh. Snoopy, when I see you walking down the street, I say, don't worry, Snoopy girl, you belong to me. And so I say now, hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Yeah, 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 give it to you. Snoopy, let your hair down, girl. Let it hang down on me. Snoopy, let your hair down, girl. Let it hang down on me. Yeah. Come on, Snoopy. Come on, come on. Oh, come on, Snoopy. Come on, come on. Oh, come on, Snoopy. Come on, come on. Oh, come on, Snoopy. Come on, come on. Well, it feels so good. Come on, come on. You know it feels so good. Come on, come on. Oh, shake it, shake it, shake it, Snoopy. Come on, come on. Oh, shake it, yeah. Come on, come on. Hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hang on, Snoopy, Snoopy, hang on.
Now, as a child, I always thought that was Hang On Snoopy because I knew Snoopy from Charlie Brown. But that's Hang On Sloopy, Sloopy, by the McCoys. Hang On Sloopy. Hang On Sloopy, not Snoopy. But as a child, I always thought they were singing Hang On Snoopy.
Have you
All right. Jump up. Get it. Hey. Devil with the bluegrass, bluegrass, bluegrass. Devil with the bluegrass song. Yeah. Devil with the bluegrass, bluegrass, bluegrass. bum, looking mighty now. Here she comes, wearing a wig hat and shades to match. Got a high-heeled shoes and an alligator hat. Wearing a pearls and a diamond ring. Got bracelets on her finger and everything. Devil with the blue dress on. She's the devil with the blue dress on. Lord have mercy. Devil with the blue dress on. Devil with the blue dress on. Hey, wearing a perfume Chanel number 5. Got to be the finest girl alive. You walk real cool, catches everybody's eye. I got to be nervous, I can't say hi. Not too skinny, she's not too fat. She's a real singer and I like them like that. Devil with the blue dress on. She's the devil with the blue dress on. Hey, I say now, devil with the blue dress on. Yeah, the devil with the blue dress on. Good golly, Miss Miley, yeah, so like a boy, yeah, golly, Miss Miley, so like a boy. Don't you hear your mama call? From the early morning to the early night, see Miss Miley rocking at the hospital tonight. Good golly, Miss Miley, you sure like a ball. Oh, yeah, rockin' and you're rolling. Got to hear your mama call. Wearing a pearl in a diamond ring. Got bracelets on her finger now and everything. Devil with a blue dress, blue dress on. The devil with the blue dress on. I love you. Say devil with the blue dress. All right, go and sock it to me now. Devil with the blue dress on. Got the jump up now. Got the feel it.
Yeah, not to be confused with Devil Flyer wearing a blue dress. No. Do it. Are we having fun yet? I hope so.
Pump up the volume, dance, dance.
on the record, the needle on the record, the needle on the record. When the drum beats go like this.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance.
All right, just for you, Eric. It was ended anyway. Get some sleep, Rex. I just got up. Lay out the coffee with lime. No, I'm having some right now. Can't blame a guy for trying, Eric. Come on. Pump up the volume, get that blood going. You know? Staying alive. You can say what you want, man. Disco's not dead. We wish it was. You know, I don't listen to a lot of disco, but I appreciated it. I appreciated the hell out of it when it was around. You could dance to it. There was some good stuff. Steve McQueen, the king of cool, was a big Bee Gees fan. And who wasn't? I don't have my card-carrying membership card, but, you know, I would display it proudly. I mean, I'm not a disco denier like a lot of people. Oh, you never liked disco. Yeah, you were going ABBA. You were dancing to all of it. What the hell? Just like the rest of us. I have to love-hate thing with that, some disco. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Some of it's like, but I mean, you know, ooh, I feel love, I feel love, I feel love, I feel love. I mean, some of it's great, you know. I mean, you know, you know, if you want to get up in the morning, you want to feel cheerful, you know, after your prayer time, just turn some of that stuff on. You know, it's fun. It was entertainment for the sake of entertainment. You know, with no hidden messages, unless you ran it backwards. You know, number nine, turn me on, dead man. I'm like you, Rex. I don't deny some of it is okay. It is okay. It still holds up today. It was good music. It sold in the millions. You know, I'm just saying there's a bunch of disco and I never liked disco. Then why was it so popular? I mean, you know, for a good bit there. During the Star Wars years, I might say, we were doing this to Star Wars. You know, you could maybe make the argument that was maybe why Star Wars was such a big hit. People were feeling good. They were in the groove. You know, disco kind of merged with synthwave, the new wave music. I don't know what happened to it, but it went away, and that's fine. But I hated when bell bottoms went away. I like bell bottoms. I wore them all the time. You know, I'd still wear them. They'll come back in. I mean, look how long the bell bottom lasted. They had bell bottoms for women, I know, back in the, 60s. It was nice to let out a little bit of your feminine side. Okay, I didn't want to go there. To let out some of your feminine self, if that's what you want to think. I don't know, everybody was wearing it, trendy. You know, oh, Dad, oh, Mom, look at that, people are going to look at you and laugh today, but we always look back and laugh. And maybe we need a good chuckle. We take things too seriously. They're trying to lead us down the wrong path now. Back what, 80 years ago? I ain't going. As we say in the South, I'm just going to do my own thing, my own groove. And if I want to listen to ABBA or, something else, then I will. And I love how people get so opinionated about music, snobbery, you know, whatever. I mean, I can get Doc to listen to any of my music because he's like, yeah, Metallica or, whatever, hard rock. That's all right. I mean, at least Shadowhawk, he loves that stuff too. But at least he likes some of the old, what was on the radio at the time. If it were not, I mean, has metal really taken over as the main? No, it's more middle of the road, you know, uh, roadkill music. Whatever you want to call it. And maybe that's not some people really gets worked up about music. I know, and he's not the only one. There's a lot of people get worked up about music, and I'm like, music is to be enjoyed. And I forget who was on here, and he was like, well, I like a little bit of it all. Classical, you name it. Yeah, musicians. Oh, it was Chris Stanley. He appreciate musicians if they're now, maybe it's not. Hey, 64. Maybe it's not their jam. Maybe it's not their jam. Do I look like a little puffy, like I woke up, like I was wrestling with the pillow? I was. Yo de yo, yo de yo, yo de yo de yo. That's absolutely a thing. Yeah, but I hate it when I only have a few lyrics. I mean, to find that Paul Revere in the Raiders, which I love, Cherokee Nation, Cherokee Pride, and that was before my time. I appreciate a lot of '60s music. That was really before my time. I mean, music listening wise, my first album was given to me by a cousin, and that was like, I can't believe that was like as late in the '70s. I looked at that, Foreigner's first album, but I was listening to music before that, and I got K-Tail's greatest hits that had from Casey and the Sunshine Band, Kiss, Island Girl by Elton John. It was just a mixture, and I listened to it all, and listen to my parents' old records and things. Country and rap, yeah. I don't even exclude that. If I hear it and I like it, fine, but I'm not going to go looking for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, country and rappers and hip hop and things like that. They're not my jam, but if I hear something I like, and I'm probably not because I'm, tuned to only certain radio stations, but every now and then, I would go shopping around on the radio, especially when I'm driving, trying to find something good to listen, and I'll come across something, uh, it's got moves like Jagger. It's got moves like Jagger. You discover things. Same with Doc. He's more obstinate about it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like they take hardcore. It's like, well, this is shit, and this is crap, and this is all there is. And I'm like, wow, okay, kind of like your art from, but that's the number one seller. Okay, Status Quo. Ever heard of that? Now, he's not here to defend himself in his art, and his art's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but to think that the pinnacle of art is plein air painting. You don't have to embrace the modern, 20th century or 21st century art. Absolutely, you don't have to. But I mean, is that where we want to stop at? How much? 130? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to do the math on it. Is that when art stopped? Maybe it was when art stopped to be beautiful, but I'll argue that. There's been I've seen some very nice looking modern art, so. And stuff that's being produced today, we just don't hear about it because the Academy Award system, the gallery system is rigged. It's not what it used to be. I won't give you grief about liking Pollock. You like what you like. Well, I just thought, I think it's got its place, and you know, you could do something. We do stuff like that in the backgrounds of comics all the time, you know, like Splatter, or, you know, it might be Kirby Crackle or something, but it's, you know, I'm just saying, don't pigeonhole yourself, you know, think out of the box. I'm always trying to think out of the box. Some would say the cheese has slipped off the cracker, and they might be right, but, you know, I make no excuses. And maybe, as Shay said, I build a personality around my ADD or whatever. Uh, but you know, I think pretty level-headed guy, especially for whose mother was on cocaine apparently and heroin at the time of my birth. Wow, that was a revelation. I mean, my half sister, my sister. I don't call her my half. She's either my sister or not. She's my sister. You know, I love her, and I haven't even met her. So, but you know, that's what makes life worth living. Manifest what you want in your life. You want a better life, you can have it. And if music gets you there, great. You know, I don't listen to a lot of music. I guess that's where I'm a prude, a shrewd. I mean, whatever you want to call it. But now, you know, if I want to really get in, you know, I tell you what, there's, especially with love songs, right? Love songs got to be it. Even, you know, Silent Lucidity. I mean, there's ballads, there's, you know, with Kiss, there's Beth, I Hear You Calling, you know, love songs are it, man. Everybody's looking for love, whether they know it or not. I found it, you know, found it 1971, I think. His name is Jesus. You know, so you know, God is love, you know. And just like a fickle lover, you know, I've walked away, I've come back, uh, you know, but he's never stopped loving me. I feel the love of God. I feel the love of God just by having you here every day, you know. God works in mysterious ways. Yeah, but he wants you to know his mysterious ways. Uh, it bothers me about others hate on you about it, quite frankly. What's that? You can't give a grief. Oh, yeah, yeah, about the art. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, but that is the crowd we're kind of running with, right? It's like panel 9 grid, you know, or whatever. And it's, um, oh, it's, it's Friday, isn't it? So we'll be doing comics by night, I guess. I have to remember that if I want to be a part of that with Russ Leach and Randy Zimmerman and Whiskey and Glenn Fleming and whoever else shows up. There's others. Um, Laugh Out Loud Shay is kind of spot on. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, that was actually a pretty good, you know, and you inherently know things, but it's really cool when people define them and actually voice what you've kind of been thinking for several years or whatever about yourself. It's pretty neat, you know, like the aspect of my ex-wife, and this was like my second wife. That was we were married 7 months. You know, we kind of dated and were together for a couple years, but um, and it's amazing she married me. But I'm pretty good catch, you know. But now she wanted one thing, and you know, out of life, and you know that tore me up, you know, for a while. Really, depression. I mean, you know, not a good thing. Rex, it's awful late. You know, is it awful late? I've slept. You know, I did the 4 o'clock shadow, and I maybe did a few things, but then I went to bed. You know, so it's early for me. You know, and I'm not an early person, but I'm here for you. You know, saying thank you anyway. Nooking for nub in all the wrong places. Yeah, yeah. Brother Rex. And back in the 70s, you had more of a mix like that, right? You had kind of middle of the road Glenn Campbell and Johnny Cash, and you had more of a mix on the radio than what you do now. It doesn't always have to be Boston on the radio. And there's nothing against Boston. It never gets old. They, you know, but uh Brother Rex, I have to dip out and try and get a few minutes of sleep. I get congrats on the campaign. Perhaps I will see you later. Absolutely. Don't die on me. Don't die on me. But yeah, we're not promised the next minute. Are we? We're not promised the next second. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance. There's very few things I take a hard line on. I think the line can always be moved on things. I think I call that open-mindedness, keeping an open mind. Now, that doesn't mean I'm wishy-washy on my opinions. It just means I don't take a hard stance like, well, plein air painting, impressionism was the pinnacle or what. And those are my words, not his. But I mean, it's good stuff. It may be the number one seller, but it's still a haystack. And it's a nice haystack, and it's on a big, big canvas. But just making it big doesn't make it, I mean, geez, man, nothing advanced beyond that. Same thing with music. I mean, be able to be flexible. A woman likes you to be flexible, by the way. Anyway, that one was for free. Probably shouldn't have said that. Can I? No take backs? Really? Okay. You have to be flexible with life. I mean, you really do. You have to roll with the punches, or you get steamrolled. Think about it, but I see a lot of the CG crowd, or I mean, just people in general. I mean, people on the internet, they're like, hard stance on this, hard stance on that, this is good art. This is good music. This is good, fine. If that's the parameters you want to box yourself into. I have my earplugs. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let me turn myself down. See how. I had my volume turned all the way up. Am I saying something, Jolly Green, that you don't like? And how is Sprite? How is Spud? Your little bud. I like a little bit of it all. And if that makes me middle of the road, getting ready to get hit by life, then it just does. But you know what? It served me well my whole life, and I've generally enjoyed my life. And thank God I'm in a position to do that. I just have to listen, think about the nation of Haiti or something, and it's like, oh God, and they're on, and it's bad how Haiti's been used, and you say, well, it was colonialism, we were doing slavery out there, blah blah blah, or whatever. It's like Puerto Rico. Come on, man, get your act together. Yeah, you get wiped out by a hurricane, rebuild. Don't expect us to come and march in like the cavalry. Look, we're broke. We're not only broke, we're in debt. We need to stop. We need to stop. There come a tipping point where, and I think we've already reached it really, where we can't earn enough as a nation. And that's going to hurt us. I mean, you got a whole generation that does not want to work, that goes to work and gives you your burger value meal with nails this long. They don't want to work. There's some of they're not used to work. They think work is a bad thing. Work is absolutely a good thing. It is what you put into it. And if you have a job where you can go to the job and enjoy it every day, and there's some disabled people that wish they could work, I don't buy into this Nancy Pelosi, get on the government dole and I'm an artist, and create your art, be creative. Look, man, if you want to, I've dipped out for most of my life. Now with that said, I've had four part-time jobs more than once. But I didn't break my body down. I knew I'd need it later. It serves me good. Have I taken, woo, Rex. Hey, Caleb. You have to pace yourself in this world. You really do. But uh, yeah, I've worked a bunch of jobs, and I've worked some jobs that I didn't like, but don't we all? I'm not abnormal. I'm status quo, but I don't try and go around acting like status quo. When I was in college in early 20s, I hung around with people like Elsie. That's, you know, he was born in 57. I'm born in 65. Charles was older than Elsie. Artie was older than Charles. I mean, you know, I remember Artie hitting 50 and I was like 25, half his age, you know. Um, I got to get out of that habit of saying, I probably say it more often than, and you get in these patterns of speech, but, you people see, I did it again. That's entertainment, folks. I'm sure that, okay, did it again. I'd have to get the dictionary out. People hear my voice and probably think I'm a hillbilly rube. Well, there's a mind behind this pretty face. No, wait. Yeah, okay, I'm sticking to that for the moment, anyway. Uh, yeah, I might live my life where I have to be afraid and be in a witness protection program and run from anything. I'll take the world head on, you know. Uh, Probably wasn't all that way, but you have to foster these type of things. 6480 says, I find that I'm mostly inspired to draw when I'm on break at work. Fortunately, I get to take all my breaks together, so it's a good chunk of time, right? There's things that scare people away from you. Religion's one of them. I remember, hey man, I was hooked up for a little while. I was selling, at Christmas time, I was selling sunglasses, or was it sunglasses? I was selling watches. I was selling t-shirts and nice dress shirts and different things. And at work, at World Color, at the printing, I'd bring in my wares and set up shop. I was Mr. Popular. And then, and I went through a bad time. I was going through a bad time because I had to work with my ex-wife. And that was, I really didn't know how to handle it. And so, uh, absolutely getting back to God and getting grounded to who I was and was raised to be. And it's not just about rearing, but truth is truth. And if you go looking for it, now, Tokame has a thing where they talk about esoteric type things, but Allie's on there, and Allie just can't stand my guts because I called her out. I said, "You're being just like an SJW. What you say you hate." And it was all over Jackson Pollock. It was all about, and others were backing her up, and I said, "You're being, basically, I did what Finity did to me, called me a petty dictator." Uh, that I was being, yeah, compared her to Adolf Hitler and what the Nazis did. She never says hi to me again. Oh, well, it's a big loss. I love you, Allie, but I mean, you're wrong. Stop acting like a young, yeah, I'm not going to say it anyway. Just stop grow up, mature a little. You'll get there eventually. I told her also, you wait, give yourself 10, 15 years. When you lose your looks and your sense, then you're really going to have to be a nobody, because right now they're like, oh yeah, flash me something, hoping to get with her or something. It's like, yeah, that's not going to last. That's got an expiration date on it. I don't have that luxury, of having the good looks. But for my age, I think I'm pretty good looking. And back in the day, here's something. My accountant had 3 daughters, and they're like, and I was I had brought in to show my accountant what I looked like at 19 in high school, and they came in. They were like her daughters, and they were like, "Ooh, who's the hottie?" I kid you not. I wasn't bad looking, but I never could. I guess I never had the maturity level to really, hook up. Uh, I was looking for something deeper than just surface luster stuff. I'm. It's good to go over the tatas and the AAs or whatever, and chase after that. But yeah, it's fleeting. I was looking for something a little bit more deeper, a little bit more mature. That's why I hung out in college with a more mature crowd. Uh, you know, if I wanted to be a man, I had to run with men. And these men had, I mean, at least one of them had killed people. He was an ex mercenary. He was hardcore, man. He used to be a Hell's Angel. Um, Bad choice decisions, yes, absolutely. I mean, there's got to be a better way than, you know, being the toughest guy on the block, because eventually you get replaced. Everybody gets replaced. Uh, but no, I don't want to be a lemon either, and just walk off with the crowd off the edge either. Uh, I think you should learn to leadership, and one way you do that is hang around with a more mature crowd. And I'll do a Jin Saki and circle back to what I was saying earlier. There was a conversation with my ex-wife, with my mother in the hospital when my dad was in the hospital, and we were in the waiting room, and she talked about my mother to my wife, and it's sad that it didn't work out between us, because it was like my mother and her got along great, which was great, because my brother's family, my sister-in-law was never even tried. It's like, what a snob, whatever. I love you, but you're wrong. Act like a human being. With that, I better shut up. They might actually get this sometime and look at it. Look, man, I love you, but you gotta get together and be human. You think you all that and box of chocolate. You're not. You need to really be humble and really be a human being to others. Uh, and maybe that's, I don't know. That's beyond some people, but usually they're in prison at psychosis. Morning, Ice Queen. Why is it I always want ice cream when she comes around? You know, Ice Queen, Ice Queen, cream, Queen, Queen. Anyway, um, yeah, I mean, you get what you put into it, and if you don't put money in the piggy bank, you don't get it out. Uh, So we all need to work on being, better person, better human every day. And I get it. It's not easy, but if you don't work on you, who will you work on? I've met people like that too. They've always got a suggestion how they could. But yeah, I enjoy what I enjoy, and you enjoy what you enjoy, and maybe we can be friends. Maybe not. But I'm done with taking it personal, you know. But I always hung with a more mature crowd, and my mother was like, yeah, we were always older, and they were older. Usually, people have their children in the early 20s, right? That was the trend. They couldn't have children, so they were like in their late 20s to early 30s when I came around, you know was adopted. So I had the benefit of the maturity of having more mature parents. So maybe that's where that came from. That never really occurred to me. Again, that's like, you got it up here, but it helps to hear somebody else articulate it and say it to you. You know, uh, I'm trying to think of the earlier comment that was said. Oh, Shay saying that, well, you're ADD, or I am all over the place. Okay, but I've kind of built a personality around it. I appreciated that because that was like, that's interesting, but she's like one of these matter of fact people that are, um, if we were neighbors, I don't know that I would hang around her all the time. I mean, um, it's one thing to go on her show once a week, but to hang out all the time, we probably wouldn't mesh. But that's there are positive things to the internet. She has different music. I don't even know what Shay's musical tastes that are. And God, if you knew some of my musical taste, uh, which taste, if music were food, I'd probably be a skeleton. I'd probably be anorexic or bulimic. I don't, you know, uh, to me, I have other things, you know, and the wheels in the sky keeps on turning. I've always got, uh, don't know where I'll be tomorrow. Uh, I've got other things rolling around in my head, you know. Yeah. Uh, marbles are still up in there. But maybe Shay's right. I built around it. So I appreciate people that articulate things that you may know, but sometimes you just need to hear it articulated. Yeah, kind of like my mother's perspective on being an older parent. I'm like, okay, well, how does that apply to me? Well, I could see where it would apply to me, maturity level wise. But with that said, I was a very immature kid for, like I said, I don't think I really got got a grip on being a true, till like 30. And I heard something on the radio recently that with men let's face it, women mature earlier than men. Men are about their toys and stuff, and you know, they even treat their women like toys, uh, at that age. It seems like to me. Very few late teen, in your 20s, you just want to have fun. You want to do stuff, party, whatever. I hit the ground running working, but it wasn't just all work. I had the luxury of not having a family at that time. It was later, uh, a decade later. Still, all that came too early. I wasn't prepared for it. Um, and I hope, man, I kind of hope that, I'm glad to see that, and I hope that my daughter has now matured enough to know. And that was kind of my plan in the back of my mind. Okay, I've already missed her childhood. Let her grow up a little while. Let her have a child of her own, even, which was later, just recent, uh, late in life, had problems with that. But I'm glad, my parents never did. And uh, my mother got pregnant when I was in third grade for 3 months and was really starting to show. And sadly, that didn't work out. I was excited about having a sister. I remember being excited about having a sister, and now I have one. So woohoo! I had one all along, didn't even know it. Had two. Sadly, one's passed on already. But God is absolutely the restorer of things. If you need something very specific, pray specifically. And He, I like that He's such a loving God. I don't even have to ask for some things. Is this just me? No, this is everybody. I'm not unique. Some of the things He knows your heart, and He knows your thoughts, and He knows what you really want, and He will somehow do a Jin Saki or something, and circle back. He'll make it manifest. Now you can help Him along, to get there. Um, and often what we want, He's so loving that He's like, yeah, I don't know if you've thought this through. Because I've often prayed for something and He goes, ooh, what if He answered it in this way? But that's the thing about Him. He won't answer it in that way. Not where it's a detriment or hurt you. Yeah, there's some rough patches in the road that you learn that he lets you go through. I mean, there's examples of that in the Bible, and I don't look at them as Bible characters. I had a run in with the guy, not really run in, but he came in and he was talking about a certain character in the Bible, that wasn't, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said the Bible says some good things about him, and I also gave him evidence, of in Scripture about, and he's in the Book of Faith. He's mentioned, um, you know, he messed up in his life, but don't be so judgmental. These are people. These are people that lived. They're historical figures, and God thought so much about them, He stuck them in the Bible, and stuck that guy in the Hall of Fame of all-time greats. And you're criticizing him? It says don't criticize the man of God. And the Bible says he was a man of God. Sure, he slept with his daughters. They got him drunk, and it was a lot. He doesn't have the best reputation. There's not a lot talked about him, but he's absolutely talked about in the New Testament. And, even the evidence of, in a very wicked city where they were sleeping with everybody, they were bestiality and all kinds of stuff going on. And his daughters were still virgins. He was an elder of the city. There's a lot of things you can point to, but he didn't have the best role model. Abraham was a liar. Yeah, my wife's my sister. He wasn't exactly truthful. He didn't have the best role model. Now that's not, look, none are perfect. The only major character I can't find a mention of their sin, of where they messed up, and a lot of people point to it, he was prideful, was Joseph with the coat of many colors. Maybe, he's the only major character I can't. Daniel, he mentions his sin and the nation of, nation of people he comes from, Israel and their sin. But Joseph, I never hear a specific sin. And I think people might be doing a disservice. And maybe that's it. Maybe I just need to leave it at that. Okay, it was, he's a little bit, I don't see anything wrong in what he did. Maybe he was a little insensitive. He just, to his brother's feelings and how, but you cannot really predict how other people are, you have to do the Fanta. You have to do you boo. You do you boo. You can't know what you're going to do next, how your actions and what you say in your actions, how other people are going to react to it. You just can't predict that. And Joseph didn't predict that with his brothers. And they were a motley crew. The 12 tribes of Israel, they were a motley crew, to say the least. You had all kinds of personalities, just like the Waltons, different age groups, different, likes and dislikes. They see the world, Of course, I and my sister are going to get along because we're fairly close to the same age. Now, if she was born like 15 years earlier or 15 years later, there might be a generation gap there, Oh, you like that old disco stuff, I can't even think of any modern music that I really, or anything that's just really grabbed me. But I don't listen a lot either. I enjoy what I enjoy, and if that's in a time capsule and that's precious, fine. But I know I do appreciate like the whole 60s type thing, which came before me. Not all of it. That by the McCoys that I played, the Hang On Sloopy, hang on. That type of bebop, bebop, you my baby, sort of what I call or consider like milkshake, uh, 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 what do they used to call those? Like hangouts, kind of like Happy Days, uh, hanging out and ice cream place. You get a root beer float or something like that. That type of music, yeah. I mean, like the Grease music, times. Of course, that was set in the 50s, early 60s, whatever. Um, yeah, some of that's just kind of aged, I think. It was good for early rock and roll, I guess. But yeah, it's dated now. Uh, but I appreciate some of it, you know. I love Grease, the movie. Uh, everybody did. Uh, I'm not fickle when it comes to music. I think people are fickle when it comes to everything. Just like everything's been politicized, everything. Politics are in everything. It's been politicized in one way or another. Um, and that's sad. But I mean, it is what it is. That's just the reality we live in. And it's probably always been there. We just haven't recognized it. Uh, my generation grew up thinking you can have everything, you know, it's out there for you. You can't have everything when we're spending a trillion dollars every 100 days. You just can't. Everything's going to collapse like a box of cards. I mean, at some time they're going to have to hit reset and wipe out some of that debt or something, and they want to go to digital. Okay, go to the digital dollar. You half or more of your wealth will be wiped out anytime they reset the currency. If you break the rules, sometimes you break the thing completely, and they're out to break the thing completely because the haves, and I'm not hating on the rich. And most of the rich, most of the millionaires, at least in this country, I can't speak for other countries, but I think it's probably pretty much the same, are hardworking individuals that if you just sit down in the balance sheet and you looked at that's what Dave Ramsey's all about on the radio. Uh, he has a millionaire hour, where people come in and it's like, yeah, I earn $200,000 a year, or maybe even just $100,000 a year, and I've been saving this up and don't just spend it on this, that, and the other, and buy a car I can't afford and be paying it off, and debt is crushing, but once you get away from that, you can't let it beat you down. You can't let finances beat you down. Well, I have this and I don't have that. Because you get a poverty spirit. I don't want to talk about people specifically, but I have a neighbor. She has a poverty spirit because I've done some work for that person, and she's kind of chintzy, kind of cheap, especially for the work that I do. But I don't really. I mean, I'm digging freaking ditch out there. I'm digging. I'm doing some hard labor. I'm coming home sore and sleeping for a very long time. That's probably what I need to do. Everybody's like, get some rest, Rex, get some rest, sleep. Yeah, I need to go out and do some hard, yard work or something. But I've had rest. I'm up, and I'm here. I'm here for you, and I'm saying thank you. Thank you to the mighty few that's backed Devil Flyer, and if you haven't backed Devil Flyer, and even like people that haven't backed it, but they've contributed. Thank you. If you bought Abby a meal, if you sent $1, every little bit helps. Get us down the road to where we need to be going, and that's the next project, and getting all this in your hands, and I don't care if I'm broke. I'm broke all the time right now anyway, to a certain degree. I live that way. I have to live on a shoestring budget, but I think I'm doing pretty well. I mean, if there things that I could sell to, yeah, and I do. I do. I sell, I sell some high dollar items, production artwork and stuff that I've invested in to for that express purpose. Uh, that slowed up over the last couple of years. Last big sale I made was in about 3 weeks period. I made about 2,300. That usually doesn't happen, but it was my Jubilee year, 50 years of knowing the Lord. I think that was a payoff. I was expecting it and he gave it to me. It was like, wow, man, that just don't happen. That was, come think of it, that was probably the largest sale I've ever made. I don't know. I think I made one that was like 3,000 something. I've sold pieces to museums that are in museums now. How many people can say that? But it's just stuff. I learned that from my fire. It's just stuff. I had everything wiped out. I hit reset and I didn't really want to hit reset. Maybe I needed it. And the Holy Spirit was trying to tell me, yeah, how safe is it in here? And like, I swear, 2 days later, the guy burned the place down. I just wasn't listening. I wasn't in tune with what God was trying to tell me. So, you need to listen to God when he's trying to tell you, otherwise you might get run over in the road. I repost with Devil Flyer promo tweets whenever I see them. Thank you. And I try and send them out. I don't think I've sent one out today or yesterday. I might have early. So, try not to inundate. And, unless I have something new really to say, I don't even know if I've told people it's in demand. I think so. I think I have. See what my last post was. I've kind of slowed up on Twitter, but I get some, I save things and get some inspiration from Twitter. Being on with Joker Fan, creators outlet for like 4 hours, that was that kind of kicked me in the ass today. But sometimes streaming helps. Happy birthday to Casey Biggs, who played in Star Trek. He usually with makeup on, so you probably wouldn't know. Best known for Daimar on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He also played Lurian Captain in Enterprise, episode Damage, and Dr. Wyckoff on Deep Space Nine Shadows and Symbols. Okay. Well, wait, I'm skipping right over what I'm looking for. Funded, rare cards. I've done it on YouTube, and that stuff's kind of been posted. But yeah, I haven't sent out a post specifically. But then that's a good thing to tell people we are in demand now over on Fund My Comic. And I'll do a post here after this broadcast. Didn't know how long I was going to go with this or what I was going to do or say. I got up, I felt like streaming. That's usually how it works. And yeah, thanks to the mighty few, you know who you are, and I appreciate all the support. And you're a big part of my life, a big part of my life. I wouldn't be on here every day if you weren't a part of my life, and you weren't important to me. It would hold nothing for me. People that just want to come on and just hang out and just air their dirty laundry all the time. Frankly, some of these people need to scrape their freaking tongue. They need to look in their own backyard and start cleaning their own backyard before they throw aspersions to other people, because we saw with kayfabe, and maybe nobody deserves that. And I've been there where you get so depressed you want to just off yourself. And frankly, a lot of this new generation, they're kind of there. We're kind of, and we don't have the workforce we used to have. Baby boomers after the war, they're dying off. More than $10,000 a day now. They're almost gone. and we can't replace that workforce. So automation probably needs to come in, but then that takes jobs. We should be living in utopia right now, but where they want to lead us and they say it's utopia or for the elite few on, I get that opening scene from Terminator where the tank's crushing the skulls underneath it. That's what they want to do to us. We're the skulls. While they just cruise along doing their destructive thing, communism, fascism, whatever, whatever it may manifest. It's greed. It's the devil inside, every little. Anyway, in excess. I got to see them the first year they came out. I still don't really know how Twitter works with hashtags and tagging names. Yeah, I'm just trying to post pictures of my sketches and more regularly. That's cool. Every now and then, send me one, and I'll feature it on the show. Um, and I know you have. Practice, practice, practice. With that, I could probably practice now and draw some. Um, but I do need to concentrate on cleaning, did get a little cleaning, and then kind of hit a wall. Watched a couple of movies. Like I said, I watched John Carter of Mars, and then I watched what did I watch? Oh, I'm listening to the audio to it now. Logan's Run. I'm actually listening to the commentary. I enjoy commentary because that gives you the underbelly, gives you some of how they made it, and I'm interested in that, in the process and how they kind of viewed it. One thing I'm going to have to do is draw out my seasons of The Fugitive because I'm interested in that. I think that's going to become influential on the Devil Flyer story, on his own personal story. I'll tag you in my future sketch tweets. Okay. I really had to cut some things out of my life to accomplish some things in my life, and you may have to too. Concentrate. You need to make a short list of what is most important, sort of middle of the road, and what can kind of wait. And if you can do something out of all three categories at some time, great, and get it accomplished. But then that way you just, and I'm not one of those that prioritizes. But when you put out a comic, you just about have to rein in the ADD or anything else that's going to impede you, and get organized. Am I there? I'm not there, but I will get there. Have to. And I can't wait to draw this all together and get it out to everybody. That's when things are really going to take off because I'll have product in hand, and this being the first campaign, which I think's been a successful campaign, and it's not over yet, but more than I could think or ask for. And see, I might have at some time prayed for that, but I'm not that type of person. It's like I more think it. It's more intuitive. It's more unarticulated, and at some point it comes to the surface. I'm kind of like wait and see. Cast your bread on many waters and it will come back to you in different ways that you didn't expect. And I didn't expect the 60 signups in one day, and then over 100 in 3 days, and then over $800 on launch. I really didn't try and set expectations, because if you don't meet them, and if I've appeared frustrated at times during the campaign, it's just fatigue. That's all it is. I mean, doing 2-3 shows a day, whatever, doing my thing and then going on other shows, and it gets tiring. It gets wearing, along with everything else you have to do. And everybody's screaming at me, sleep, sleep. I know, and I do, but yeah, it did, and I was, blood pressure was out of whack because I was off my medicine and stuff, and just trying to get through, man, just trying to survive. Again, that shoestring budget. But yeah, we got this. We got this. I can't wait to get product in your hands. And I hope it means more than just stuff to you. Because stuff can be replaced. People can't be replaced. If my fire taught me anything, it taught me that. At least I didn't lose my life for someone that I loved, or cared for. Uh, it's just stuff. All this is just stuff. You hear that Rex passed away. Somebody will come in and clear this stuff out. They'll reorganize it and they'll repaint the walls and resell the house. And it doesn't, it's just stuff. Now is all we have. So we cherish the things and prioritize the things that are really important. And that's you. People. People are important. And people can be real douchebags. I get it. But you have to roll with the punches and resist the temptation sometimes to strike back. Bite your tongue, bite your lip, walk away. I get it. And I think that's where martial arts come in handy. But then, if you think because you can get somebody in a hold very easily where they're like, oh, most people, but now if you get a hold of a tiger and they're like, they know what you're doing or whatever, you may be on the receiving end of that. So, yeah, I mean, look, man, wars, there's always going to be wars. There's always going to be people fighting, domestic violence. There's all kinds of stuff. But life has a beautiful side too. And sadly, there's people that's went their whole life and never really enjoyed what life can be. The beautiful side. And I don't need an impressionist painting to show me that. Is it interesting? Yeah. Is it beautiful? Is it nicely rendered? Sure. But again, it's just stuff. A Renoir is just stuff. Leonardo da Vinci, which da Vinci wasn't his last name, actually. We don't know Leonardo's last name. Da Vinci's where he came from. Just letting you know. Hey, Billy Pyramax. There's a beautiful side to life. And sadly, some people go through their whole life and they never smell the roses. They never see the sunrise. I mean, really, really, and when we do, it's fleeting, right? There's more to beat you down and more cold water to be thrown on you than there is like the day in the spa with the sunshine on the beach days. And that's unfortunate. And, but, work is sadly part of life and you have to do that. And did I want to work on my father's farm? I wanted to make my father proud, but on my terms, in my way. I had to be me. And I think he is proud of me. I think he is, because he's still alive. If he ain't in heaven, none of us are getting to heaven. But that's not for my place to put him in heaven or hell. So I'm not going to tell you emphatically he's in heaven, but probably. Okay. When it comes to that, I don't put on rose-colored glasses. You're either there or you're not. And really, that's for God to judge, not for me to judge. I don't try and put anyone in hell, and I don't try and put anyone in heaven. Rex, what's the hardest thing you've ever had to do? That's probably easy for me to answer. And there's been some very hard things. Give a eulogy for a classmate in front of their family with maybe the murderer, maybe, sitting there. Her husband, who probably killed her, but couldn't prove it. And I had not met this. I had met her 3 times. And I knew something was going on because she came to the bookstore where I worked. And kind of, but I wasn't expecting her death. And we were never serious. But we went out, we're friends, It could have got serious for me, I mean, but she was never interested. See, I always had girlfriends, but I never had the friend as a girl. Or wait a minute, the girl as a friend. I mean, wait a minute. You know what I mean? We never wound up in the sack together, okay? Lord knows I probably tried, horn dog that I was. But just being honest, folks. Just being honest. Just being transparent. People can't be honest and transparent. Oh, no. Look, I got nothing to run from, hide, and have I done that? And I'm done with it. Hey, Ray. If I didn't say hi. Happy Saturday for you. Would it be Saturday? I guess it'd be Friday still for you. Yeah. You're in the future, though. The future. And anyway, she, we had met like 3 times during that time. I lived downtown in my loft apartment on Main Street, and she was walking her dog. She didn't live that far away from me. Not in the best part of town. I mean, the older part of town. It was okay, but they were in an apartment, crowded, and had 2 daughters. And the mother suspected that the husband killed her in some way. I don't know how, but and she asked me if I would do the eulogy. Well, I haven't met this person. I don't have my annuals. And what can you say? I mean, when you have to get up there in front of a lot of people, and especially the grieving family, and give a eulogy, and then as soon as I sat down, I don't know what it was. I think it was just a spiritual attack. When the pastor got up there to finish it out and everything, I was coughing the whole time, and I didn't want to get up and leave, but I was coughing the whole freaking time. Distraction to the whole thing. I learned a lesson that day. I always put a throat, if you had to publicly speak or something, and I should probably have something here, but I always have something to drink. Most of the time. Like with Dan today, I ran out of a little bit of drink and we were engaged, and I was like, yeah, by the end of it, I was getting dry, but I always carry a throat lozenge or something. Maybe stop that from going on. Especially when you're in a funeral and you're trying to be respectful and you're over there. Maybe it would have been better if I got up and leave, People probably would have appreciated that and understood that. That's what the enemy does. The enemy distracts. There's been a lot of distractions on the internet. We see it every day. And that's all it amounts to. Which kind of gets me on the subject of most of the time when we worry about a matter, this is coming up, and you the anticipation, the unknown, whatever, and the anxiety level rises, and I've got to, whatever it is. And then once it plays out, we're fine with it, kind of like childbirth. Oh, the pain, and after it, you've got your child there, and you're like, you forget all about the pain, what you had to go through, the anticipation, the discomfort. Life is like that. As we're approaching the target to drop the bomb, if you will, there's anticipation. We got to get this right, got to do this right, or I don't know how this is going to play out. And then once we're past it, it's like, it didn't quite play out why. And I did all that worrying for, look, worry never changed the hair, on your head, the color of your hair. Be concerned. Be concerned about things. Okay. I'm concerned about you. But worry, yeah. Worry is God says don't worry. It's the 3-letter word. It's crossing the streams. You don't want to cross the streams. So don't worry. Be concerned about something. And the largest, or in a way, the largest concerns for anybody are financial, I think. But I mean, you can always look to the next guy, unless you're on a garbage heap in Haiti. And hell, they got cannibals down there apparently now. And we're going to import those through Florida. God. If we don't get this immigration thing under control in all the countries, you won't have a nation. You got to have borders. And that's sad. And even Charlie Chaplin maybe was wrong on that. I don't know, when he talked about a world without borders. And yeah, that's kind of pie in the sky, like John Lennon, imagine there's no heaven, just everything flower, hippie. Look, it's the hippies that are in control. They won't let go. They're in the 70s and the 80s. There were a lot of good things and there were a lot of bad things coming out of a lot of rebellion, a lot of rebellious attitude. It doesn't look good on a teenager, but you can understand it. It doesn't, or even in your early 20s. But when you're like 80 and you're still obstinate and an asshole, not a good look. Grow up, wallflower, Oh, you're status quo. You work for the man. We're all working for the man. Get a clue in some way. And I've opted out most of my life. I really have. I've taken less paying money jobs, but I've always tried to invest. But what do you do when your investment's totally wiped out in a day, like it was for me? I'd been sitting pretty, looking wide and looking pretty, hot child in the city. I'd been looking pretty if I'd had my original collection, that I lost in the fire. If I had that collection today still and had been able to build on it all these years, oh my God. Oh, holy rays, halo, whatever. I mean, the clouds opening. I mean, no stopping, But I think that was a problem. I needed that. I'm grateful for the fire. Were there one-of-a-kind items destroyed, never to be seen again? Yes. Thankfully, they were scanned. Most of it, probably, somewhere. At least the Avengers heads were. The John Byrne Avengers head, because that's been one of the most used piece of artwork of all time, which has still had it. But it's just stuff. I had to lose everything to find everything. Sometimes you got to lose everything to really find yourself, Those hippies wanted less government. These modern day hippies want total. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but a lot of those that said they wanted less and opted out, and then were anarchists and bombing, and yeah, I get it, Billy. You're right. In a way. I mean, but yeah, I mean, we need less government. And a lot of people say, they was like, especially with LSD and they ruined the true hippie movement, and probably so, there was some optimism during that time. It wasn't all, whoa, look at that hair. It wasn't all I'm thinking of a song. Ah, just give me one word for search. Mm, Peppermint. Peppermint. Mint's good for you. Oops. Oh my God. And then you look, oh my God. It's amazing. Some of the makeup. Look at this. Oh, I can't trust my eyes now. Is it a woman? Is it a man? And they're like, oh, you shouldn't make such a distinction. Yeah, I think this is it. Have a pepper. No, that's not it. Peppermint twist. Okay. From sweet. Bebop. And the reason the kids liked it in the 50s, early 60s was you could dance to it. It was the disco of the day. But yeah, I mean, sadly, I never came quite into some of it. Okay, so that's peppermint twist. I forgot about that. Uh, from Sweet. Uh, it's, mm. Oh, here it is. This is what I was wanting from Strawberry Alarm Clock. This was a song I had in my mind. You gotta love some tambourine. Songs don't always have to have a deep meaning. Fun. Remember fun? Fun? Or nuff spelled, you know, backwards. N-U-F. Nuff. I've had enough of that. I've had enough of that. Oh man. Want to take you to Funky Town. Yeah. I didn't see that. I wish I would have played that. Uh from when Eric was here. Um Funky Town. Yeah. That's a fun song. I played that before. Not in a while. Uh it is a fun song. By Lips, I believe. Lips Incorporated. Yeah, kind of like one of one hit wonders, maybe. I don't know. All right. Wait, wait, stop it. Quit it. This is mm. Hit that cowbell and hit that like. I love some good synthesizer. All right, you get it. You get it. Woo! Yeah, you get it. I mean, who doesn't like that? Maybe, maybe there's some haters out there. I don't know. Um, I don't know. Maybe you don't like that. We can go back to that. That was before my time, but I like it. Dave Clark 5, things like that. I don't know. Some of it's just, uh, we can always go back to pump up the volume. Look, man, the 80s were fun. Okay, it had some fun music. Good stuff, man. By the Archies. All right. Okay. All right. Enough of that. Enough of that. Yeah. Here we go. Protect the skin. Protect this. All right. There we go. Huh. Huh. Woo!
Here we come, walk down the street. We get funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around. But we're too busy singing to put anybody down. We're just trying to be friendly. Come and watch, sing and play. We're the young generation, and we got something to say. Hey, we're the monkeys, you never know where we'll be found. So you better get ready, we're maybe coming to your town.
Absolutely. You know, fun times. Everybody wanted to go to California. Yeah. Now, sadly, they're all leaving it. Man. I mean, to be, I don't know, certain songs are just the epitome. You know, it's, yeah, this is one of my favorites.
There's a girl I know who makes me feel so good.
Not too shabby. Better than I can do. Ah, well, what are you gonna do? That was Monkeys with the Valerie. Uh, always admired the Monkeys. I mean, you know, that was my first exposure to music was on TV, right? Uh, so maybe that's at the stage. I was more of a 70s child, 80s, especially, you know, young adult. Um, but I've appreciated it all along the way. But yeah, there's something. Maybe it was the innovation, the creativity, musical instruments that like the tambourine, the electric organ, especially. There were some good songs with electric organ. That I enjoyed. And but I mean that was all not really my generation's music, but I appreciate it. I can appreciate music of all types. I know what I like when I hear it, you know. No, a newer one that I enjoy. All right. Maybe that's a little gay for people. I don't know, man. But I enjoy the music, whatnot. I mean, oh, that's commercial tripe. I don't care if it's commercial or not. It's all commercial. All art is commercial art. I don't care if it's considered a masterpiece. You never sell it. I mean, putting a price tag that's just, and labeling it priceless. Yeah, that's cop out. Anyway, this is the way I'm feeling at the moment. Okay, this is the way I'm feeling at the moment. I just want to be thankful and grateful for all that you've done in my life. Surely a beautiful song. I'm a glass half full type guy. Woohoo! I can remember going down in a car listening to this on the radio. Upbeat, man. Help you get down the road. That's why I don't get downer music. We get down, but let's don't stay there.
I'm not ashamed to say.
Now, here's the beautiful part. That almost brings a tear to my eye. See, that's my favorite part of the song. I mean, I just love that. It's upbeat, but then it busts into this. I love it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All of a sudden, when we die, yeah. Anyway, here, let's put it up here. There we go.
And then we die and float away into the night, the Milky Way. You'll hear me call as we sing. I'll say your name. Then once again, thank you for being a thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. People, let me tell you about a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Whoa, I'll tell you about a friend right now. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you. Thank you for being a friend.
Like I say, that almost brings a tear to my eye. It really does. Yep. Thank you for being a friend. Wonderful song. You know, uh, better than that one about what's that? Happy, happy, joy, joy. Like that one too, but man, good stuff. Somebody could sit down there and write that and perform it and float away. Just, good stuff. Yep. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here before I get too mushy. You bring a tear to my eye. I love you all. I want to thank you all. I don't do enough appreciation streams. I know I've been grouchy recently, and I'm sorry for that. But I really do love everybody. Try to, even the hard ones. Really do. I need to work on me. So if I take a little bit of time for me, don't hate me. But yeah, I'll probably try and do an early stream. What, Rex? I thought this was the early. Yeah, it's the early stream. Yeah, I'll try and do a wake up stream today. I'm not that busy, but wake up. Hopefully, not sleeping during that time. I know a lot of people getting ready for work and stuff. Appreciate that type of stuff. You reach different audiences, streaming different times. And I always like touch base with each and every one of you. So thank you for being my friend. And whether you back my campaign or not, if you've ever been in here and you've listened to my melodious voice, thank you. I could really get, I don't try and get too introspective. Music kind of does that to me. Maybe that's why I don't, some music can be like, I can't listen to You're As Cold As Ice without thinking about the loss of my dog. Hey, you Fanta. When I lost my dog, I played that song over and over again. Hello. Are you out there? Type song. So just thank you for being a friend. We'll listen to it one more time on the way out. Love you. That's another. Oh, Pretenders. That's good. Anyway, we'll just float away together.
Have no fear, even though it's hard to hear. I will stand here close and say thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Let me tell you about a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. And when we die and float away into the night, the Milky Way, you'll hear me call as we ascend. I'll say your name.
Damn, that's good.
Then once again,
That
thank you
chokes me
for
up.
being a.
We got this.
Thank you for being.
Go out and make it a great day.
Thank you.
Or get some rest.
For being
Whatever you need to do.
I wanna thank
You do you, boo. Take care of yourself.
being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. People, let me
Yeah,
tell
maybe.
you about a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Oh, tell you about a friend right now. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being a friend.
Good night, Miss Calabash, wherever you are. Ah, cha cha cha.